What's going on, y'all? In this video, I want to talk about why being fit and self-aware changes everything if you let it. Okay, and this video idea came to me from another creator's video. I think it's called "Getting Lean Teaches You About Life and Lust," and it's by a dude named Brandon C. Clark. I've been seeing him lately on the homepage, and he talks about getting lean, getting in shape, but he does it from kind of the same angle that I talk about as well too. So I wanted to kind of break down some things that he shined some light on, but I want to expand on it from my perspective. And what I want to talk about is like, look, man, when you start working out, and I know somebody's gonna look at me and say, man, you don't even look like you work out, man. Look, I've been out of the gym. I've been on a little hiatus for 2 months because I dislocated my shoulder, bruh. Believe me, I work out. I take care of my physical well-being, and I hope you do too. All right. I know I ain't got to prove anything, but just want to get that out the way. But anyways, when you start taking yourself more seriously, when you start getting on your journey, man, improving your physical well-being, improving your mindset, along with your spiritual as well too. But when you start doing all of this stuff, you start to experience, like, life starts to change, man. It really starts to just, your whole experience starts to shift. Okay, and I've noticed. So I've been working out consistently for probably about 9 years or so. All right, and consistently this time I've worked out off and on the throughout my life, but this has been this last 9 years I've been doing it consistently, and I've noticed some things, man. Look, when you start working out, bro, you are going to get more attention. Okay, and it's important because it's important to understand what starts to happen, man. Women start to see you a bit differently. Men start to see you a bit differently too. When you start taking care of your physical, man, you start moving through life differently, man. Your physical presence starts to speak a lot louder, and it starts to grab people's attention a lot quicker and a lot more often. Okay, now it's funny what happens. Not funny in the literal sense. What I mean is, it's kind of interesting. I guess that's a better word. It's interesting what happens when you start getting on this journey, because you'll start developing a nice physique. You'll start looking in the mirror, feeling good, like, damn, I got muscles on me, I'm feeling good. Girls are not approaching me, but that might happen too. Girls may approach you too, but you start just getting more attention. But what's crazy is, if you're not used to attention, okay? If you're not used to it, you won't be able to handle the level of attention that you get. You won't be able to interpret what exactly is happening because you're not used to this. Okay, and I'm gonna break this down a little bit. The other day I was at work, right? And I work in a restaurant, if this is your first time watching one of my videos. And there's a girl that comes in there. I've seen her in there a few times. She's always in there with a dude. She's very friendly, like very smiley, I would say. Very smiley type energy, right? And she, I ain't gonna get all, I ain't gonna toot my own horn, but she be kind of giving me the eyes here and there, when we make eye contact and stuff like that. But the other week she was in there, and she was in there with a dude. They was sitting down like in the kind of, like, we call it the pergola. It's an outside area underneath like a little rooftop. And her dude was kind of stepped off to the side. I think he was hitting a vape or something like that. And she was sitting at the table still. I came down, kind of hit their drinks. Hey, let me fill it. Hey, you guys doing all right? Fill this up real quick. And I was getting ready to go. She was like, hey. She's like, what is your name? And I was like, my name's Bryce, And I seen the dude standing off, and I asked her, I said, what's your name? And she was like, Ashley. And I was like, yeah, nice to meet you officially. And we had this little exchange, more eye contact. She's always kind of like, she's one of those, like, people that make kind of extended eye contact. And it was one of those moments too where I was like, look, man, when you carry yourself a certain way, women will notice, even if they have a man, even if they're with their man. And this has happened to me in multiple occasions. I'll be running food to a table, and a woman will say, oh, we got the handsome man bringing us some food, like sitting there with her man. Okay, so what I'm saying is, you'll start to get different energy, man, when you start taking care of yourself. Okay, now what I want to really highlight is, look, you have to be mindful and aware of your ego and how it plays into it. Okay, because this attention is not, it's not to, like, make sure it doesn't, like, inflate your ego. You want to make sure that this attention reinforces your habits, man. That's the key, bro. And that's why I always talk about being fit and self-aware. Okay, look, you can be in shape, man. You can have muscles, you can look good, but if you don't have the self-awareness component, if your mindset is not in the right place, if you're not aligned, like I said, the attention that you start getting from having that nice physique, you'll fumble it. You won't know how to handle it. It might even pull you out of your integrity. I'll give you another example of what that could look like. All right. I don't want to give too much details because I'm talking about my coworkers to a degree. But yo, at my job, man, we can kind of be friendly and stuff like that too. You know, at times people can be flirty, have a good time, make jokes, nothing out of line. We see each other every day. So you know how it is when you work with people that you see every day. Y'all get friendly. You might make some flirty jokes here and there, but ain't nobody crossing no lines or being disrespectful or anything like that. And you know, the other day they was kind of making some jokes. There was like a large party of like 9 women, older women too, that came in, and one of my coworkers was like, "You just need to take your shirt off, Bryce." And she said it a couple times. You know, a few minutes later, she's like, "Your shirt, you still got your shirt on?" You know, and just making these jokes, and then I would kind of come back into the restaurant after, you know, doing a lap of filling up drinks, and she would just look at me, one of my coworkers. She would just like kind of stare at me, and she wouldn't say nothing. She would just chuckle, and she'd be like, just go." She's like, "You don't want to be in my mind right now," and like things like this. Okay, now what I'm trying to say is like how you want to make sure you still move in integrity, because you will get attention from women who are in relationships. I'm telling you, married women, women who got boyfriends, they will still be friendly with you too. But here's the key. You got to work on that self-awareness component and emotional intelligence and moving in integrity so that your ass don't make bad decisions. Don't move from your ego. Okay, especially if you're not used to getting this type of attention. Look, man, I was in a relationship for 7.5 years, man, and I got my 2 youngest children out of that relationship. But I was working out in that relationship too, and I'm just sharing this to say, now that I'm out of that relationship, this is like my first go around as a man who doesn't drink alcohol, as a man who works out, a man who sharpens his mindset, and how I bring that to like my dating life. Hanging out with women, being more of a conscious man. I'm more of aware of my decisions and how I speak and how I carry myself, right? At one point in my life, I wasn't. At one point in my life, I was moving on autopilot. You know what I mean? I moved like a different individual. I was very emotionally immature. This is before I was in that relationship, when I was out here just kind of floundering. But what I'm saying is now I'm in a place where like I'm aware, I'm more in control of how I move. I've had moments in my life when I was younger, man, you know, in my early 20s, man, where I've had moments of like, might have stepped into a realm of hooking up with a married woman or somebody who got a boyfriend. You know what I'm saying? Not the wisest decisions, and I don't recommend doing any of that. Okay, you do what the hell you want to do. But back to what I'm saying is you want to move in integrity, man. You're going to get attention from people. You're going to get comments from women. You're going to get some things, but don't let it pull you in a way where you're not moving in integrity, okay? That's why it's important to work on that self-awareness, man, so that you can get to a point where when you start getting attention, bro, you know how to play with it, okay? I know that sounds weird, but you know how to kind of like dance within that energy. You know how to make jokes too. You know how to kind of say something savvy and suave back, you know, if your coworker says something to you, or if a woman just kind of, "Oh, damn, you're really handsome. Hey, I appreciate that, you know. You ain't too bad yourself, girl. You know, you single?" Or whatever. You know, I'm being silly just coming off the top of my head right now. But you learn how to kind of dance within this energy that you are going to start to experience based off of getting in the gym, building your discipline, building your confidence. And I say this in all my videos, man, but I have to really harp on, you have to be more self-aware. Because if you start getting a nice frame, you start getting a nice physique, it's going to come with more attention. But if you still like are an immature dude, if you still don't know how to carry yourself, if you ain't really got attention from women like that, it can be overwhelming. It's such a new way of like, it's such a new life experience. It can be intimidating. You may be doing things that you ain't got no business doing. You may be going and hanging out with women that you shouldn't be hanging out with simply because she's giving you attention because you're looking good. Okay? That's why you may have the fit part down, you may have the muscles, you may have the physique. Look, man, keep working on sharpening your mindset. Keep building yourself up. Keep moving purposefully in life. Keep working on those things that are trying to build you up as a man. For example, I have a YouTube channel that you clearly see. You're watching it right now. This is part of my purpose out here, man. To pump out a message to men and women when it feels right, that all the answers, you have them within yourself. The confidence, you want to build yourself up, man, it's within you. This is what you want to keep pouring into. Find out what lights you up in life. Find out why you are here. So that when you were getting attention, when you were potentially getting opportunities that way pull you out of your integrity and have you making dumbass decisions, no, you look at yourself and you say, nah, I can't do that. Is that in alignment with who I want to be? Is that in alignment with how I truly want to carry myself and show up in this world? If it doesn't align, then make sure that your behaviors and how you're moving, make sure that you move in alignment. Make sure that your behaviors and your patterns match that mindset. But you have to sharpen the mindset. You have to create this space of integrity. And I use that word a lot. I use integrity a lot, man. You want to move in a way where you're moving in honor. You honor yourself. Don't dishonor yourself, man. If you out here hanging out with women that you ain't have no business, and this video is not just about women. I know I'm talking about relationships and how you mingle with women a lot in this video, but it's more about understanding yourself, man. Okay? It's about putting yourself in a position to be able to handle this newfound attention, this newfound respect, this newfound energy that is going to flood your life. If you let it, it'll flood your life, man, when you start becoming more fit and becoming more self-aware. And I'm going to say it again. Make sure you are focusing on that self-awareness component more so than anything, man. You have to understand why you move the way you move. You have to understand why things in life shake you up the way they shake you up. Why you might get anxious talking to an attractive woman. Because like I said, you may have the muscles, you may have the physique, and it'll get you in front of women. You'll be in front of a woman like, damn, she is bad. You know what I mean? But you ain't got the talk game. You don't have the social game. You don't have the social acumen to even be able to carry a conversation with her. These are the things you need to work on. You need to work on how to be more grounded within yourself as a man. What does that even look like? That's meditating. That's being more mindful. That's being where your feet are right now, not being in the future, not being strapped to the past. It's being in the present moment. And when you are more fit, when you are more self-aware, if you do it right, this can start to teach you how to be more in the present moment, how to live more authentically, how to take care of yourself and pour into yourself. And that is what is pouring out into the world. And when people see that, men, women, children, dogs, when they see this, they are going to gravitate towards you. You're going to become more like magnetic. And when you become more magnetic and you start getting flooded with this different energy, this different life experience, that's what I'm talking about. That's what can be overwhelming. You can be like, damn, I ain't never got this many looks from women. Damn, I had a woman come up and just give me your number out of nowhere. These types of things will happen. But if you're not pouring into yourself, you won't even know what to do with it. Should I call her right now? Should I text right now? I don't even know. Oh shit, my muscles got me into the situation, but my mindset and my anxiety is all, like, you see what I'm saying? That's why you got to continue to learn, grow, understand who you are, and understand how you operate on a deeper level. I got this coffee in my hand. Let me set this down. That is what is going to make you more of a complete man. I've been saying this a lot in my videos lately. More of a complete man. More of an aligned man. A man who moves in integrity. Because like I said, they're going to give you some attention. That attention is coming, bro. If you pour into yourself, if you're in the gym working out consistently and actually being intense in the gym, and you're going to see your body growing and changing and shifting, if you're doing it right, the world is going to give you some feedback. It's coming. You're going to be in the grocery store. People are going to be looking at you. You're going to get more stares than you had before. You're going to be like, wow, this is new. This is different. You're going to get put in front of more attractive women. The tier that you're at is going to step up a little bit. But when you step up, it comes with some stuff. It comes with newness. learning how to, like I said, dance within that newness. So I can't harp on it enough, man. You got to sharpen your mindset. Yes, get in the gym. Yes, lift weights. Sharpen your mindset as well. Okay? If you got any value out of this video, please smash the like button. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you know when I make more videos like this. Man, y'all leave me some comments. Let me know what you thought about this topic. Let me know if you felt this in your soul, man. If this drummed up something within you, leave me some comments, man. Let me know how it hit you, all right? Also, make sure you check out this video on the screen here. YouTube thinks you'll enjoy this one as well. And I will see y'all in the next video. I'm out of here. Peace.